In this video, I'm going to be going over some examples similar to the two-step equations that you'll find on your Chapter 1 retake assignment. These aren't the exact same problems that you'll see on your retake assignment, but very similar. We're going to go through the problem step by step. We will also annotate the problems, and I will show you how to check and make sure you got correct answers. So let's go ahead and start with number 1 here. My goal in solving is to get this n by itself and find the value that n is equal to make this true. So right now, this n is not by itself on this side of the equal sign. It's being multiplied by a 6, and it has a 2 subtracting. So I'm going to work to get the n by itself on that side. Typically, we'll start with addition and subtraction. So I want to get rid of this minus 2. I can make this minus 2 go away by going plus 2, because that's the opposite. Minus 2 plus 2 will cancel each other out. But the rule of algebra is that anything we do on one side of the equal, we must do on the other side. That's why I draw this line down the center, just to remind me to make sure I'm keeping things balanced and doing the same thing, plus 2, on both sides of that equal sign. Let's draw a line here to show we're finished with that step, and we'll go ahead and cross those out because those will cancel. So what's left over here? We still have a 6n. I'm going to bring my equal sign down right along that line. Over here we have negative 8 plus 2. So that would be the same as 2 minus 8, negative 8 plus 2. That is negative 6. Okay, again, focused on the side with the n. I still need to get rid of this 6. Then that 6 is multiplying the n. I know it's multiplying because there's nothing in between. The opposite of multiplying by 6 is to divide by 6. So we'll divide by 6 on that side, but the rule is anything we do on one side, we must do to the other side. So dividing by 6 over here as well. These 6's will cancel. They don't really go away. It turns into a 1. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So that's going to leave us a 1n here. I'm not writing the 1 in there, but we could if we wanted to. Over here, we have a negative divided by a positive. That's going to give us a negative answer. 6 divided by 6 is 1. We do need to write the 1 there because we've got to have something on that side. So I could have written this as 1n equals negative 1, but I'm choosing to just write it as n equals negative 1 because now n is by itself. And so that's our final answer. Let's go ahead and take a moment and annotate this problem and show what we're doing in each step. So here we started out by getting rid of the negative 2. And we did that by doing plus 2 on both sides. So that got rid of our negative 2 here. We still had a 6 with our n, so in our second step we got rid of the 6. We did that by dividing by 6 on both sides. And that got us to our final answer, which was n all by itself. N is equal to negative 1. Now, before we move on, I want to show you how you can check to make sure that your solution is correct. This is really handy to know how to do if you're working on a test or a quiz. Can't spell right now, sorry about that. Because if you're working on a test and you've got some extra time, you definitely want to check your answer. And if it's not right, you want to go back and look and see if you can find a mistake. So let's see what we can do here. So now when we check, what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite our original equation. We'll just leave out any variables. So I'm going to leave out this n. So let me write this down. It says 6n. In place of the n, I put a blank parenthesis. Let me finish up my equation. 6n minus 2 equals negative 8. And I'm just double checking to make sure I've got the exact same equation just without the n's in it. And I do. In place of that n, I'm going to put the value that I think n is. I think n is negative 1. Now I just need to simplify both sides of the equation. And what I'm hoping for is to get the same number on both sides. I already have a negative 8 here, so I'm hoping this ends up being negative 8. Let's check and see. PEMDAS says multiplication first. 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. We still have our minus 2. We'll go one more step here. Negative 6 minus 2 is negative 8. That matches the other side, which means my check is good. My answer is correct. Now, if I had gotten, for example, 5 equals -8, those are different numbers, that would mean I did something wrong in my original equation and this answer was not correct. But since I have the same number on both sides of the equals, that means this is a correct solution. All right, let's do one more example of this type. This one also has an n that we're trying to get by itself. Let's see what else is on the side with this n. So it looks like I've got an 8 that's subtracting, and then this -5 is actually multiplying by the n. There's nothing between the -5 and the n, so that's multiplication. Let's do addition and subtraction first. Let's get rid of this -8. So I'm going to do +8 on both sides of my equal sign. And I'm going to go ahead and draw that line down just to make sure I'm keeping things balanced. +8 on both sides. +8 minus 8 will cancel. And what do we have left? I still have that -5n. Don't forget the minus sign. Bringing down my equal sign. And here I have 47 plus 8. That is 55. All right, we almost have that n by itself. There's nothing between the -5 and the n. That means the -5 is multiplying by n. So what is the opposite of multiplying by -5? The opposite of multiplying is dividing. We're going to divide by the same thing. So multiplying by -5, dividing by -5. Those will cancel. We have to do the same thing on both sides, though. So canceling my -5s leaves me with just n on this side. Bring down the equal sign, and 55 divided by -5 is -11. And I think that's my final answer. We'll come back and check it in just a moment. Let's do some quick annotations first. What did we do here? We got rid of that -8, and we did that by doing +8 on both sides. In our second step here, we got rid of this -5. And we did that by dividing by -5 on both sides. And that got n by itself and got us our final answer, we think. But we're going to check it really quick just to make sure. So I'm going to go back to my original equation, and I'm going to rewrite it just leaving out the n. Original equation was -8 minus 5n, left that n out, equals 47. In place of n, I'm going to put -11 because that's what I think n is. All right, let's simplify here. Now we got to know order of operations to do this. Multiplication comes before subtraction. So let's do the multiplication. -5 times -11 is a positive 55. We'll bring down our -8. And then -8 plus 55 gets us 47 on that side. Oh, good. This side is also 47. There was nothing to do in there, so got the same number on both sides. That means our solution checks out and we're happy. All right, there is another video for the next section, which is equations with like terms. So check the playlist for that.